What's happening, fam? Anyways, man, it's your boy Triple BLACK, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka three black hearses. It's murder. Anyways, man, I gotta see if this works, man. Last time it didn't work, this shit was muted. I don't even know. But anyways, man, let me do a test before I let me do a test. Let me, but anyways, man, this video that I'm doing. Let me see. But anyways, I was man, I be watching Poor Man podcast all the time, and it's some real good shit, man. I got to give it to him, man. But there was this panel discussion that they were having, man, and he surgically, and I got a lot of respect for this guy. I watch this guy all the time. I forgot what his name is, but anyways, Poor Man Podcast, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe his page, man. He does review videos, but it's it's a real. I mean, he goes in the paint, man. I like his responses and stuff like that. I got a lot of respect for him, but I got a whole new level of respect for him. But shout out to Hammer also. I listened to his panel. I actually went on his panel earlier today, but my phone borged out. But anyways, listen, this guy surgically uh, just dismantled this woman that was on the panel, and she was battling a lot of dudes. And what I started to really understand, it's not even delusion. They just don't care. I mean, it just don't care. And the thing about it is they don't really care about what what black men have to say. Basically, at the end of the day, I think a lot of them feel that whatever that we say is irrelevant. It's just irrelevant, and it's just irrelevant. Nothing that we say really matters, because they got the WAP, and we have to basically comply with any type of fuckery that they come up with. And the thing about it is you got to understand. I mean, what I'm understanding is no matter how much uh, facts you come up with, no matter what type of response it is, at the end of the day, it comes to one thing. Uh, I I got the WAP and I make the rules. Basically, that's what it really come down to. And she said at the end of the, after all the surgical maneuvering that he did, he gave up the facts and all this type of stuff. She just said, you know what, basically let other women hold all the women accountable. It would basically come down to accountability. And she was making these normal sisterhood talking things, just, I mean, once you heard one of them, you heard all of them. And then they go through the shaming tactics. When that don't work, they and they they're on the ropes. They're a good fight. One thing I will admire, I mean, I do admire about the sisterhood, they stay coded up, and definitely um they definitely stick to their guns. And that's the thing, they stick to their guns, and they will never ever admit what they, and the thing about it is, and what's what he said at the end of what the conclusion was. He was like, yeah, he's like, basically, uh women, when they get together, one of the things, because they are social creatures, they are very agreeable. They all very, like, group thinkish. They basically agree with each other, and then they don't want to cause any type of friction. They don't want to like, so so basically they'll will all run into a burning building. Instead of telling each other to get out of that burning building, they rather just let everybody just burn in that building together. Even they don't even want to save themselves. You know, why would they want to save anybody else if they don't want to save themselves? Which is one of the reasons that our community has got to this place, is the lack of accountability. And he made a great point, because in the media, black men have been the whipping boy for the last 50 years about, you guys ain't nothing, you guys ain't do this, you guys don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And you've seen vast improvement in pretty much all areas, when it comes to mass incarceration, grades, money, everything across the board. You can see black men definitely improving. And if you look at the numbers, a lot of times the numbers are not even close to um, the numbers that they're talking about, their numbers and stuff like that, even though they take great pride in the perceived success they've had. Or I don't know, some of that stuff is just crazy, how they they start to portray this successful model. And they got all these degrees, they got all this stuff, and they're doing this, they're doing that. And I mean a lot of it is just nonsensical. But let me see if I play the video. I'm gonna go on my phone, I'm gonna play the video, because last time it was freaking muted, which was crazy to me. But I'll play the video, but you guys gotta listen. I don't even know. Yeah. Oh boy. Now, I don't know why when you play the video, I got to figure this out somehow. For some reason, it does not let me play the video. You can't hear the. All right, let me see. Add a stream. I don't know. Let me figure this out, man. Let's see. Share. Oh, share audio. There we go. YouTube commercial. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for right there. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna get to it. I understand where she's coming from. Okay, black men need to do better, and black men need to step up. Okay, and we arguably have. Okay, all of our statistics have been getting better. More black men are out of poverty than ever. Less black men are in prison than ever. More black men are graduating than ever. And that's probably because we've been accepting criticism throughout time. For the past 40 or 50 years, we have been accepting criticism and we have been doing better. Unfortunately, our women have not been meeting us halfway. Why? Because they married the feminist movement and the government that is taking care of them. So when you look at 80% obesity rate, when you look at 78% of children being born out of wedlock, these are statistics that only the women can control. And I say that because this women, okay, we all know that women are the gatekeepers to sex. So if a woman goes out and she decides to have sex with a man and carry the child to term, that is her decision.
Heard that many
Okay.
times.
Yeah. But why is that still ignored as a fact? Because
Because
what
it's not a
happens,
fact.
what do you, how is that not a fact that you have a choice to carry a baby to term or not?
Of course, we have a choice to carry a baby to term, but the thing is, everybody's not comfortable with aborting a child.
Well, you
So,
don't have
so
to.
now, no, 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 because at the end of the day, a man and a woman, if I'm correct,
Here she comes with the deflection, and they do this a lot. And what she's trying to do right here, the strategy she's trying to do, she's trying to basically uh, deflect and try to take the hand. I mean, put her hands on the steering wheel and drive the car, off of rails or whatever. But Poor Man Podcast did a masterful job. He stayed calm, and that's, you guys can learn a lot from this, especially if you're on these panels, talking to these sisterhood type women, because what they do is this is what they usually do. They want to change the narrative of it. Now it's a man's fault, and no, and he doesn't let her. He does not let her take the wheels to the car, but she definitely tries. But watch this. Watch this.
a man and a woman make a conscious decision to sleep together, especially if they decide to do it unprotected, right? That's two
Right,
people with responsibility in that, right?
right.
So and let's just say it was a fly by night thing and that woman gets pregnant. She does not want to have a baby for this guy, but she does not believe in aborting a child. So now
Oh,
you're going to say, I'm sorry, because I heard earlier that I guess she should give the baby up for adoption or something like that's just the easiest thing for a woman to do. But is just like you guys are telling women that if we both make conscious decisions to have sex and a baby ends up coming from that, you need to either, let's
see,
just, for lack of better terms, kill the baby because we're not together or give the baby away because if not, you're going to be useless on a dating market. That's
here's
asinine.
here's the problem with only holding men accountable. Okay, if
I'm
I have
not. I'm
to,
holding both accountable.
okay, yeah, no, okay, but I'm saying this. I mean, we could get into the fact that women have way more options before and after the fact of getting pregnant or whatever it may be. Before conception, before and after, women have way more options. If you want to lay down with bums, that's fine. Although I don't recommend that because it shows that the more partners you have before marriage, the less likely marriage is to last. That's a fact, and that's specific for
Another
women.
quote.
Now, yeah, well, I mean, see, here's the thing: a lot of people believe that Kevin Samuels is
You see that? You see that? He shut her down. She still she you see he stayed calm and he gave her facts and shut her down, and now she's scrambling. She's scrambling, for some nonsensical thing. So he shut her down, and he basically, because a lot of people would have went back and forth with her, probably been petty, and then at that point they would have won. I mean, she would have probably gained a little bit more of advantage, but now she has to regroup, and watch how she regroups. It's crazy. He did a masterful job just basically dismantling her. Watch.
some kind of alpha or omega. He's a
I don't.
McDonald's. Kevin Samuels is McDonald's. Okay, so all of these concepts have always existed. People have been selling cheeseburgers forever, but McDonald's came along and they found a system that made it quick and consistent. That's all Kevin Samuels is. These are the same ideas that have been circling.
Hmm,
Unfortunately, black women don't want to hear them because it is criticism and it's tough. Trust me, I get it.
that's not true.
But but here's the history. We have black men being held accountable, and we can tell that because black men have been doing better. But if I have 10 men that are held accountable, or if I have 10 men and 9 of them are held accountable, all it takes is one man out of all those men, if women are not held accountable, one man can get all those women pregnant. Okay? So we have women that are in our culture, we have a baby mama symptom. So that proves that women are not picking the right guys, because the Future has 8 baby mamas. 6 of them were dumb enough to have a child with them.
Can I get a hand clap? Can I get a hand clap? This man just freaking put, boy, this man just freaking put, the wildcat, and what I'm saying. Now, hey, let's see how she gonna wiggle out of this one. What I'm saying. Masterful, man. Shout out to Poor Man's Podcast, man. Shout out to Poor Man Podcast, man.
The man that is not taking care of his children.
But I thought he was a high value man.
But that, see, and this is the problem. I'm using Future as an example because everyone knows Future.
And
But
the
this
Kane.
happens.
You
But this
see
happens
what
all
she
the
just
time in my
tried to do? She
No,
backyard.
but
shut
let's talk
down.
about the
Regular
high
bum.
value man that's getting all these women pregnant, right?
Watch
Let's
she
just
gonna
go with
try to derail the
the Nick
conversation.
Cannons of the world
Okay.
and the Futures of the world. These
Men do
are
it too.
quote
Watch.
unquote high value men, right?
Yeah, well, hear me out though.
There you go.
Okay.
If one man is irresponsible in that situation, correct? Future is irresponsible in that situation. That is something we can all universally agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that 7 women, after the first baby mother, the remaining 7 women were all irresponsible.
Absolutely.
So in Future's case, you have 1 man that's irresponsible, but you have 7 women that are irresponsible.
Absolutely.
If you don't, exactly. So if you don't hold women accountable for their actions, that will continue. So we can make all good. We can make 9 men good, but if that one bad man exists and women follow for that man, which is what's happening, we're seeing that the top 10% of men are the only ones being chosen. This fact is backed up by if you look at even dating apps, most 10% of the men are getting all the swipes.
Can I respond to something you said really quick?
Go ahead.
So you said the 7 women after the first baby mother should be held responsible in Future's case, correct?
Correct.
So does Future take any responsibility for going around and impregnating 7 more women? Does he take any of that responsibility?
Well, yeah, he is responsible, and he's irresponsible.
Hold up. So she just tried to derail the conversation about him taking responsibility. And all I have to ask is, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? But carry on.
Responsible in that case. And
Okay.
I think we all can agree on that. But then you then have to go look at 7 different women. So we have 1 man that's irresponsible and 7 women that are irresponsible. And what we're doing in our
But
culture
what's the
is
common denominator?
Oh man, StreamYard. We'll let that ride. uh,
Isn't Future the common denominator?
Yeah, but those are 7
So
women. But 7 women had the choice to not have those children, and they decided to anyway.
Correct.
Well,
And this is my thing. You're right. They are making a bad choice. I would never do that. You know what I mean? And they should be held accountable for
Down
that.
goes
But we're not
Frazier.
going to put it all on hold these
Down
women
goes
accountable. Like
Frazier.
Future shouldn't be going around dropping off
Down
seeds like
goes
doggone
Frazier.
groceries.
But what I'm telling you is, there's never gonna be a utopia. There's never going to be a place where every man is gonna be wanting to take care of their children. There are some bad men, and they will always exist. But what we have to do is teach women to avoid these men. Unfortunately, since we're not holding women accountable for their decisions, women are not avoiding these men. And we can see this through baby mama drama. This happens all the time. I know a dude that's in the neighborhood that I live in. He got 3 girls pregnant. He's a drug addict. How are you getting pregnant by a drug addict? That is an irresponsible choice. Now, I will say that one guy is irresponsible for doing what he's doing, but then you have to then look at the 3 women that are following that man. And unfortunately, when that man doesn't take care of his kids, now the cycle repeats. Now it becomes another single mother that's raising a boy that's not going to go and take on his responsibilities as a man, and he's going to get women pregnant.
So can I ask you a question?
If she raises a girl, the girl is 3 times more likely to get pregnant before the age of 18. And I could go through all the statistics of why this is.
All right, I got that. Can I ask you a question? Right? You just gave an example, a scenario
hold on,
of the one crackhead guy that's got 3 women pregnant, right?
this is code language for I don't have an answer. I don't. I'm on the ropes and I'm trying to figure out how I can get out of this one. Basically, trying to basically absolve women for accountability because she doesn't really have an answer. Instead of just saying, yeah, you're right, she wants to ask another question to deflect. It asks another question to deflect, ask another question, but this guy is staying on point. You know what I'm saying? Keep running that ball, young man.
And you mentioned something that was very, very key. Oh, he's gonna when he doesn't take care of his kids. Why are men, black men especially in particular, so focused on the baby mama drama and not telling this black man to take care of his kids, not holding that black man responsible so that there aren't a lot of single mothers in the hood? Because this is the thing. We have to, what y'all have to realize, whether you want to believe it or not, women are not going to listen to men and say, oh my God, the man is saying X, Y, and Z, let me go ahead and change my life. That's not going to happen. And even if a woman does, quote unquote, change for a man, she'll do it for that man. And it'll only be while she's into that man. But the moment she's done it over him, she'll not be that person to another man. So, in order for true change to happen,
This is the part that I was saying that I think some of it went over, and she is telling the truth right there. The thing about it is they will only do it for the man that either that's fucking them or they like. They're not going to comply to mass majority of men. Just like and she's validating. He is pretty much validating her point, but I don't think he was trying to validate her point. But basically, 90% of the women, I mean, 90% of the women find most men invisible. They're only focused on that 10% of men. And that's the only 10% of men that they will comply with. They're not going to comply with the mass majority of men. So basically, the men that they like, or the men that they fucking, or the men that I don't even know, whatever men feel that criteria, that's the only man they're going to comply with. Like a whole bunch of what she's saying, basically, in my interpretation is basically a whole bunch of men can complain and say whatever. We're not changing. We're going to do what we want to do. And then when we find that man that we will submit to or comply to, that's when we'll do it. But you guys can say whatever you want to. We're going to do what we want to do. Carry on.
happen to women, it has to be by women. Men are not going to govern that change. You guys can kick and scream all you want, but it's not going to come through guys. It's just not. It's no different from saying women are ill equipped to raise young men, which I totally agree with, solely by themselves at least. Women are ill equipped to raise young men. Yes, they are. Men are ill equipped.
But the crazy part about it is she understands that the path that they're doing is basically running into a burning building. But because a man is telling them, or the men that they don't like is telling them to not go into that burning building, they don't want to listen. That's what this is crazy about it. They know it's a burning building, but because it's not the man that they don't like, they don't want they still want to go into that burning building. They still don't want to tell nobody else. They want everybody to follow into that burning building. The only time that they won't go into that burning building is like to the guy that they like, or I don't even know what criteria it is. But basically, she says that we're going to continue to make bad decisions and there's nothing you can do about it. We're not going to tell other women we're just gonna do what we want to do. And I guess that's that whole feminist mindset, that they're going to do what they want to do, screw everybody else. And it's like the same mindset is like my body my choice, which we agree with. But they don't want no type of agency, they don't want any type of government from men. So it doesn't matter. They want to crash and burn the car, but the problem is they want the rest of society to pick up the pieces when they crash the car, they run into the burning building, they ruin their children, they ruin their bodies, they ruin everything, they ruin their reputation. But the thing is they because we're free, we're not shackled by the I guess the patriarchy or whatever. We're going to do whatever we want to do, and we're not. And the problem is we when the destruction happens, guess who has to take pick up the pieces? But I'm sorry for interrupting, but I'll let it go.
To change women and get them on this rhetoric or this train that you guys are trying to get them on. And now it's popular, it's popping. Yeah, everybody's listening, but there's not a woman on the face of this earth who's
Well,
going to say, "Oh my God,
exa-
this guy said this about me. Let me go ahead and change." And
exactly.
if she does, it'll only
Agree.
be for that man.
I agree, and that's because women are not accountable for their actions, and they
That's
don't
not
like to
true.
be. It's
That's not
very true.
true.
I mean,
See,
that's the whole
see,
conversation we're
that's
having right
I
now.
don't. I
that's a
think
whole
people
You're
are
hearing what
conversation. She
women.
just
accountable.
doesn't want.
You're
She
hearing
We
what
doesn't
can't
want.
women.
just say women. I think people, men in general. I mean, people in general. Men aren't taking care of their kids. So now, do I
See,
say
but
all? No,
we
no,
have
no.
to
Black men. No, there are a
realize
lot of
that
black men who aren't taking care of their kids. Do I get to say
that's
all
not
black men don't
true.
take care of their kids?
That's not true.
So there
There
are
are
not a
not a
lot of black men who aren't taking care of
no.
their
There are
kids.
not a lot. You're
This is the thing. It's like um the narrative that she have is representing right now is a complete. It's false. If you look at the child support, people that owe back child support or whatever, it's only like I think it's like I think like 20% of men are I think are even on child support or whatever, but it's very few men that don't take care of the kids from a financial standpoint. Now, there might be some absenteeism of fathers, but a lot of times it has nothing to do with the father. It has something to do with the woman. It's only about 20% of the men that she says that most, I guess, 20% is the majority of it. But the thing about it is and he's going to make the point on there, but she still don't want to accept it because the thing about it is they don't understand that only this destruction is being like the single mother baby mama thing is 80% of them running getting ran through by 20% of the men, and that's the problem, and they don't want to see it that way. They but the thing about it is with hot girl summer, let me do what I do, live my best life narrative and all this type of stuff. They don't want to see it, but they don't want to give up. The thing is, it's going to be very hard for them to give up I guess what their freedom as they see it, because they see agency of a man or governance of a man or government or any type of accountability is bondage or restriction. It doesn't free them because think about it. If as a man, if you didn't have any accountability, if you know there was a large safety net that you can land on from making these huge mistakes and things like that, which having a child out of wedlock to me is a huge mistake because you're going to set precedent. You're going to set a journey. You're going to set many things for a person that you're just putting on earth. A lot of times when they're babies and things like that, and they grow up in childhood, they have no choice of their circumstances. And women out here willingly doing that is a dangerous thing. But she can't see it. But she can't see the forest for the trees. But carry on.
you're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
ma'am. Listen to me. You're
Oh
talking
my
about a
God.
small minority of men
That's a
that
lie.
just listen to me. You're talking about a
All
small
these baby
minority of
mamas, but
men.
apparently, okay.
You're talking about a small minority.
I think one of the reasons that and shout out to a lot of people that do podcasts and Fresh and Fit. I watched the podcast. That's more of a younger man's podcast, but they reiterate this time these things all the time about how most women, especially black women, they view as basically but if they don't want you, they kind of view you as invisible. So in her mindset, it's she's only seeing that the guys that she's attracted to or she's visible or she wants or whatever, and then majority of them are probably the problem guy, the future, and that's why she has this whole mindset.
Minority of men that women are choosing to date because they make ill decisions. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
understanding where you don't. If black men have been doing better historically speaking, we have continued to do better, and that is because
Better than
we have
what?
Broadcasting is no longer a
Oh
budding
man.
media experiment. Today, it's a mainstream medium that plays an essential role in the advertising and marketing strategies of thousands of podcast publishers.
Woo.
Better than where we
What
were
were
at
you
the
doing
beginning.
before, and what are you doing now?
Our rates for incarceration were higher. Now they're
More
lower.
facts.
We're more
How much
black
lower?
people. I don't have the statistics on me now. I'm just sitting in the car, but I could bring them up. I mean, if I was sitting down, but they're lower. We're not talking
Okay.
about how much. Regardless, they're lower.
And I had to stop the video, but you guys got to understand, and you, if you listen to enough panels, you see this type of debate all the time, and it's a classic sisterhood thing, and I'm glad the guy didn't go into it, because the thing about it is, I know her next play would have been like, she would have questioned the validity of that study or whatever. Then he would have had to go in there, and the thing about that, she uses that strategy to buy time, to think of more questions to ask, to derail the conversation, to gain control of the conversation. And the thing about it is, he's doing a masterful job of not letting her do it. I mean, it's on point. He's staying calm. He's not, belittling her. He's just giving her straight facts. And the thing about it is she's gonna make little comments to try to gaslight him, to maybe go after her on a personal thing. That way she can control the narrative. So this is a great, masterful job, and he's dismantling her right now. But keep listening. I mean, it gets a little bit better.
Lower, so that
No,
means
because
we're making
1% could
progress.
be lower. That doesn't mean a big change is coming and eclipse
See,
is
there
happening.
you go.
Low,
See,
we're going lower. There are less violent crimes committed by black men than ever,
That's
regardless
a
of what you
lie.
see. Regardless of what
she's
you see in the
gaslighting.
news, there
Gaslighting.
are less violent crimes committed by black men than ever before.
He
Right
didn't take
now,
the bait either. Good
we are
job.
doing
Black
better
men
in
are
terms of
literally
coming out of
killing each other.
poverty. We have a higher median income. We have a better quality of life across the board as black men. Okay. So we have been doing better, and that is because we have been accepting the criticism. What you're expecting is a utopia. Okay.
No, that's not at
No,
all. That's not true.
well,
I'm not
what you're
expecting a
saying is
utopia.
what you're saying is there are never going to be black men that don't take care of their children.
That's
What
not
I'm
what I
telling
said
you,
either.
what I'm telling you is
You guys are putting words in my mouth. I never said
what
that.
I'm simply saying this. If you hold the women accountable, these men will not be able to prey on them and get them pregnant. It's that simple. If
I
women
agree.
understand to watch out for these men, but how do we get that message to them if they're not willing to listen to what we're
Like
saying?
I
We're literally
said,
saying,
I agree with you. Women should be held accountable for going get impregnated by one guy and he's going around the hood and he's cracking and all that stuff. But let women hold those women accountable, because men are not just, it's simply not going to happen through men.
here's the
It's
thing
simply
about
not.
here's the thing about women
There
that
you
makes
go.
them not be able to hold other women accountable. Women are what we call agreeable, and that is a trait in femininity. Now, men can be agreeable too. When I say there's a feminine trait, that doesn't mean that men don't have it and men don't use it. But women are typically more agreeable, and women use that agreeableness to move up and down in social circles. Okay, so women don't like, the thing about agreeable people is they avoid conflict. Okay, and they're also less likely to take risks. So black women or women in general are not going to hold other women accountable for their actions because that's not naturally how
But
they do
you're
things.
generalizing that though. You're saying, so you're, the way you just said that is that there's no black woman ever or anywhere today that are holding black women accountable. When
No,
he speaks about
no,
the Shiraz
no,
lady all the time.
no. I'm not
Come
talking
on
about.
now,
I'm
but
not
this is
talking
what I'm
about.
saying though. But that's
See,
what I was trying to get to when I was
but
talking about
you're saying,
this
but
platform.
you're talking about a lack. You're talking about extremes. Of course, there will always be extremes.
What do you
There
mean
will
by
always
extremes?
be extremes to the case. There will always be men who are extremely agreeable, and those men tend to do worse. They're less likely to go and ask their boss for a raise, but they do work better in teams. That's the thing about agreeableness, and this is why it is a feminine trait. Women do better in teams. Okay, women like to be in teams. Women like to pack up. That's something they naturally do. But when they do that, they tend to agree with each other and avoid conflict. Okay, so if a
That's not
woman
true.
does something wrong, women are less likely to hold another woman accountable for their actions because they want to avoid the conflict of bringing it up. It
So
is
can I
100%
ask you a
true.
question?
That's the thing about agreeableness. Go ahead, though.
Okay, so you, by your logic, women won't hold other women accountable because they agree, right?
I'm sorry,
That's
I was reading something.
you're saying women won't hold other women accountable because they're more likely to agree because of their feminine traits, right?
I think they're less likely to. You gotta. That's a
Less
big
likely. Okay,
distinction.
That's
less
okay. Less
likely to.
likely. They're less likely. Less likely. I'm sorry, to hold other women accountable. Okay. Why is it that black men, and we gotta put it on both sides, right? Let's just say I agree with you. Why is it that black men aren't holding each other accountable for the high death rates, for the high murder rates, for the single women, for
See,
the single women out here? No, because we gotta call it on both sides.
Wow. The thing about it is, again, she's losing the argument. So what she wants to do is deflect and derail the conversation. This is what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Nothing. She just wants to derail the conversation because she does not have an answer. And he is doing a masterful job. And one of the things that he is doing, he's not taking the bait. He's not taking the bait. She's trying to give him the bait. She's trying to deflect, but he's not taking the bait. All he does is keep giving her straight facts. And this is a great strategy when you're talking to these sisterhood types.
no, yes,
Because
no,
we no, because we can't sit up here and act like black women, black women, black women, like we're the fall of all black people.
no,
When the
that's
when the
not what
next no, I'm not saying that you're saying that. What I'm saying is, if black women are gonna hold black women accountable, or should hold black women accountable, then black men should hold black men accountable. Period. Because at the end of the day, there is way.
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user. If you're
My
considering
God, I think
live
I
streaming
need to
and you're
get
considering using
YouTube. Like when
StreamYard,
you
I
do,
highly recommend that you give it a shot. So
I gotta get, if I'm gonna do review videos, I gotta get the.
Way more detrimental things going on the black men's side that are on the black woman's side. Because when we're talking about homicide, when we're talking about drugs, when we're talking about all these things that directly affect black people as a whole, that normally comes more from black men than black
Oh my.
women.
Well, see,
Let's
here's
just
the
keep it a
thing.
stat.
But this is the difference you have to apply. See, these are statistics that are easier to bring up. Men demonstrate aggression through physical violence, typically
So that
more
means kill
often. Wait,
everybody.
listen. Typically more often than women. Okay, women demonstrate physical or aggression through manipulation. Okay, it's simply easier to measure when men are aggressive than it is to measure when women are.
and and I'm glad he did this. I'm glad he did this instead of going into, because the thing about it is she was purposely trying to carry him into a rabbit hole conversation and basically getting him on the defensive of him trying to defend what they've created, and they don't really understand what the complaint. The same thing that she's complaining about is the reason. Is this something that they created? They created these emotional men. They created these beta males. They created these thugs. They created these, these no good men. They're the ones that created most of the problem. And when you take for instance, like why there's so much gang violence and why do people even get into gangs? A lot of times it's lack of leadership. It's lack of fathers. I mean, this whole dumpster fire that's been created in the black community is a direct result of a lot of black women's bad decisions. And I'm glad that he didn't go into that rabbit hole, because I think if he would have went into that rabbit hole, it would have done no good. And basically, it would have been, she could have kind of gained the advantage because she would have been bringing up all these false narratives. Again, she deflected. What she did really was deflect and not take accountability and try to put the onus on the man. But he did a masterful job with showing how they show aggression. And so she tried to sell the narrative of the black men being all these ultra aggressive people, but now he's actually putting the ball right back in her court. Let's just see how she responds.
Men are aggressive. So when you go out of your marriage and you get pregnant by another man and bring the baby into the house, that's you demonstrating aggression just in a different way, and it's harder to calculate.
Oh, so
It's easy
just
to
bringing
say,
another kid in the house is aggression.
no, I'm not just saying that. Women sometimes will lie on your name. They'll lie to get ahead. That's
Everybody
manipulation,
does
and that's
that.
how women display aggression. So You
That's
saying that
unfair.
black here's and I will say black men are holding each other more accountable because we're doing better. That's why I keep bringing up the fact
That's
that
not
black
holding each
men
other
as a whole
accountable.
are
Okay,
doing
guys.
better.
Okay, Poon Pon, thank you, bro. But we got a lot of folks in the back
Thank you,
chat.
Poom
All
Poom,
right,
or
Dog,
whatever
yeah,
your
I
name
appreciate
was.
y'all for having me.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You can stay in the back chat. We got a lot of folks who are waiting. Let's go to
He saved her.
Dogecoin has had an unreal last 12 months. Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, Snoop Dogg. I don't know how to say she.
Oh man, but anyways, that was it. But basically, she didn't really have an answer. And I guess the what she what no 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 no. Ugh, stop sharing. But anyways, what she was saying was is basically they're not listening. And when she says that we're not listening, the only one that can get us to do it is other women. And and other women are not going to tell other women how to act. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to they're not going to ask other women to take accountability. Because because the thing about it is how, I mean, it's a perpetual cycle. How do you tell somebody to take accountability when you've never took accountability? It's like the blind leading the blind. And it's never going to happen. And that's one of the problems. And what I guess they think so lowly of black men that they're fine with being the baby mama. They're fine with, sharing future. They're fine with that, because they brag on so much about how they got their own money, they got their own car, blah blah blah. But you know they're fine with just banging future and the whatever guy they want to be with or whatever. And and basically use the resources of the bottom, I guess, um 80% or 90% of men. And when they get used up enough, they're gonna probably try to require that one of those bottom tier men to take care of uh them and somebody else's child. I mean, that is just a deal that us black men have to basically comply with, because we have no power in the community. But the one of the biggest problems that they're going to face is because um, this movement, by, like, the red pill movement, and this Kevin Samuels movement, like, these this I mean, it's running wild on the algorithm. And the problem is they're not going to be able to escape it. And I don't think that the mainstream media has seen this shit coming. It hasn't seen it coming, because what you can see what's happening with Kwame Brown. It's um now the thing about it is women have had this unregulated sexual marketplace, right? For the last, I don't know how many years, and it's getting worse by the moment. Because it's causing a lot of rift in our communities. And the problem is it's just getting, I mean, just thought culture and that type of culture in general, between all the races, is at an all-time, it's bad. But anyways, um a lot of these content creators like Kevin Samuels are unregulated right now. They're unregulated right now. They haven't sort of came to do corporate, um the corporate media structure, which are run by a lot of feminists and shit like that. And and you got to understand. And I was listening to Fresh and Fit, and he had Dr. Red Pill, and one of the things, one of the branches of feminism is corporatism, and the thing about it is they can, corporations and stuff like that can kind of control the narrative. Even though YouTube or something like that is a big corporation, but it hasn't seemed to get to like people like Kevin Samuels yet, where they have to kind of curtail uh, the information. I think one of the things that I've seen that might be happening to him is he's probably going to have to get a little bit. He's probably going to have to go a little bit more of a different direction, because once the uh, corporate people get their hands in it, um, they the only okay. Let me take a step back. The only thing that I think right now for you from a YouTube perspective is one of the most profitable genres is black dysfunction. Selling black dysfunction, like, that's why you got the love and hip hop and all this type of stuff. They love black dysfunction. Black relationships are a representation of black dysfunction, and he's actually putting a microscope on it, and he's dissecting and seeing why it happens. So to and it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining to watch, one of these baby mamas, get cooked on live, but no, it's not live TV, but on the live internet now. And this culture loves that type of stuff, because when you go to these sites like Love and Hip Hop, I'm not Love and Hip Hop, but World Star Hip Hop, they love to see the baby mama get crushed. They love to see. I mean, it's just the shade room. All those things are selling black dysfunction, selling, just dysfunction is. I mean, like relationship dysfunction. People cheating. People thotting it up. People twerking. People, having affairs and all this type of salacious stuff. They love it. It sells good. You know what I'm saying? And he has like the protection. I think a little bit about. I mean, I think he has the protection of YouTube. And he does it in such a polished manner that it's palatable. So, but somebody like, for instance, back in the day was like Tommy Sotomayor. He was just he was untamed. He was vulgar. He's very in your face, and he wasn't able to be controlled. And that was one of the thing. That's why he kept getting his pages took down. But Kevin Samuels does it such in a masterful, clean way where they can't, like, the sisterhood fraction cannot shut him down because he doesn't curse, he doesn't degrade anything. All he does is just tell the facts in the thing. So they can't really mess with him. They can't really mess with him. Now, somebody like Kwame Brown, uh, he's having a lot of success right now, but I think pretty soon that he'll probably get curtailed. But he has the money and the resources. And right now, this is really putting a lot of pressure on other lamestream media. I did a whole podcast about culture vultures, man. I cannot believe nobody didn't really, that video didn't make it a lot, get a lot of streams. But I've been doing this YouTube thing too hard for whatever. But anyways, um Joe Budden, uh, what would I think what went over a lot of people's heads, right? Was Joe Budden got spanked, right after Kevin Samuels got on the show. And the other thing that I noticed is Ti got really spanked when he was making a show with Kevin Samuels. Uh, so that was very interesting. Uh, Kevin Samuels like his talking points is very nuclear. And it was just very interesting how these, big media entities, like I think I don't know if TI's podcast Expeditiously, which was a very popular podcast, is basically pretty much shut down right after Kevin Samuels. And I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but it's just I mean, some one has to look at that. One has to look at that because it's just tell me. I mean, from my perspective, it's just a little suspicious that how Kevin Samuels was going on Ti's platform, which actually made the show. I don't even know if that it's been released yet or whatever, but um Ti just goes down in flames. Accusation after accusation. Now you got dudes coming at Ti saying, just all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, just nonsensical crazy stuff, right? And then Kevin Samuel makes it on Joe Budden's, and then all of a sudden Joe Budden pretty much is going down in flames. I don't know if it's a coinky dink, but I think there's got to be some type of correlation. And I think the correlation, and I'm not sure, I think Expeditiously is basically Ti's baby. And it's kind of I think it's I mean, I wonder who own I mean, I gotta look that up. Who owns Expeditiously? Expeditiously podcast. Let me look to see who owns, if it's on Spotify. He is on Spotify. I don't know. I think he probably maybe owns the content. But Joe was on Spotify too. Um, Let me see who owns that. Owns Expeditiously owner content. Yeah, let's see. Tip T.I. Harris, the word expeditiously. Podcast one. So he is on a network. And yeah, he's on a podcast one network, but possibly he may own the content or whatever. But I just thought it was very, 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 very coincidental that um Ti is being attacked in the media or whatever, which didn't make any damn sense to me. But anyways, that's another story. I was just I don't know, man. It's just interesting. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that comes out, man. And one of my biggest regrets, and I want to say this to a lot of people, man. Just you gotta follow your dreams. Some people say fuck your dreams, fuck your talents or whatever, but you gotta follow your dreams because at the end of the day, man, ain't nobody gonna look out for you but yourself, man. Because I remember, I when I first started my podcast and things like that, No Cupcake Zone, I didn't have a lot of supporters, internally. Maybe I looked at my surroundings, even some of my friends or whatever. It was I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was I didn't get the type of support that I thought I deserve. Especially with the content I was playing. I worried about that too much, even in my own household, man. My significant other pretty much. I mean, it was just they. I mean, I don't know what it was. It was a jealous. I don't even know what it was. It was just they were very resistant to the success of it. And you know what? I mean, shout out to my brother, uh, Andrew Layton with Big Dream Sports, man. We're gonna be collaborating. We got a new relationship show coming out. But I've been a vet in this game, and the thing is, I was looking through my Facebook content, and I was, I had the Excited Crew. The Excited Crew was a crew that I pretty much put together myself. We used to do videos on Facebook and stuff like that. This is the early times of Facebook before the algorithms and the Facebook marketing and all this type of stuff. This is over 10 years ago. And I was looking at a lot of my content, and you get like the who hurt you boos and all this stuff. I'm like, man, listen, bro. If you listen to my content, my shit was red pill before red pill. So a lot of these guys, I get on these panels, they're talking about, you hurt and you red pill raging and all this bullshit. Man, I've been talking about that shit way before I got married and all this type of stuff, man. Y'all crazy with that shit, man. Y'all can miss me with it, man. But anyways, man, say no more, say no more, say no more. But I'm about to get off of here, man. I wanted to put in some work, put in an hour of work instead of going on the panels and putting in some work, getting that free content to them. And they don't even subscribe to your brother, man, which is fucked up, man. If you guys hear this shit, man, some of y'all niggas, boy, hey, y'all niggas doing those big numbers and shit like that, but you know what I'm saying? I go on that shit. I donate to these niggas, man, and I go on there for fucking free. Give me my perspective, give my content, and these niggas can't even subscribe to my fucking page, man. Y'all niggas crazy right here, man. But anyways, man, I ain't putting no pressure on nobody, man. But if you guys listening to it, and then some of you niggas be clipping my words, clipping my contents, and all this type of bullshit, and you don't got you can't even subscribe to my page. You know what I'm saying? Come on the panel and shit like that, man. Y'all some niggas, man. I tell you what, man. I ain't finna talk about it. I'm about to be about it, and we about to take this thing to another level. You're man. Anyways, man, I give I give y'all that, man. You know what I'm saying? I make donations to y'all niggas, and y'all can't even subscribe to my fucking page. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all niggas crazy out here, man. But anyway, it's your boy Triple BLACK. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna do a show probably later on today. It's called but basically how the sisterhood and feminism is basically making the modern day buck. Basically, they've built their new plantation, and it's when you really dissect uh how they've kept basically the black male on the plantation is it's crazy. um it's so crazy though. But anyways, man, holla at your boy, man. I'm out of here.